This is KGW News at 11.
We begin at 11 with an update on the Washington County deputy shot multiple times while delivering an eviction notice this week. Charles Doze is now awake and talking to family members. Thanks for joining us. I'm Blair Best. Doze was shot in the face and chest. It's not yet known how long his recovery could take. Thomas Schultz has the story.
Washington County Sheriff's officials say it may take months or even years to recover. They say Doze is one of the kindest, caring members of the Sheriff's Office, and this shooting has shocked hundreds of law enforcement officers.
It's somber because you don't know what's going to happen, or at the very beginning, you don't even necessarily know who's involved, right?
Charles Doze, a 10-year Washington County deputy, was shot through a door Wednesday morning. He was trying to deliver an eviction notice at the Forest Rim apartment complex in Tualatin.
They were ambushed at the door. They knocked on the door and they weren't greeted by a person. They were greeted by gunfire.
Doze is a civil deputy who serves legal orders, enforces court orders, and Washington County ordinances. With his return to work now in question, deputies are trying to help his family any way they can. Patrick Altier helped start a GoFundMe for Doze that has already raised more than $50,000.
This is going to be a long recovery process, and we're talking, months or years. We don't know what the income impacts are going to be down the road. We don't know any of that.
The suspect in the shooting is 34-year-old Christopher James Graves. One deputy returned fire on Graves, but it's not yet known who. After an hours-long standoff, Graves was found dead in the apartment bathroom, shot at least once. It's unknown if it was self-inflicted or if he was shot by a deputy.
There's no way to prepare or be ready for that.
Altier says in the past few years, 3 Washington County deputies have been injured on the job. 2 were shot. Wednesday's shooting is a grim reminder for other deputies.
They're horrified about it. Their own vigilance is probably renewed a little bit.
Altier says Doze has extended family in town, sitting with him as he recovers at the hospital. If you'd like to help in Doze's recovery, you can find a link to his GoFundMe page on our website, kgw.com. Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
A man is dead after a hit-and-run crash in Northeast Portland today. It happened just after midnight by Northeast Gleason and 60th. Police found a man dead when they arrived. He had been walking and was hit by a car. The driver who hit him was gone by the time police got there and has not been arrested yet. If you have any information about this, please contact Portland Police. Well, the family of a woman killed in a shooting held a vigil for her tonight in Southeast Portland to try to bring attention to her death. 41-year-old Laura Guerrero Rafaela died Wednesday in the Powellhurst Gilbert neighborhood. The suspect or suspects were gone by the time police arrived. There are no arrests in the case, and contact Portland Police if you have any information. Well, Portland firefighters had to deal with what they describe as a challenging warehouse fire this morning. It broke out on Swan Island. They say it was difficult because there was a locked gate with no one around to open it, no sprinklers at the warehouse, and it was filled with carpeting material and rubber matting. But despite all of that, crews were able to get inside and put it out. They're still investigating the cause. And a couple of grass fires broke out along Marine Drive tonight, not far from each other. One was by Northeast 148th in Portland, the other nearby in Fairview at Blue Lake Road. Crews were able to knock both of them down quickly, and there's no word yet on what started them. Well, now to an update on wildfire season. Fire crews are making progress on the Bedrock fire in Lane County. It's now 3% contained. That may not seem like much, but crews call efforts to build fire lines significant. The weather and terrain have been a challenge so far.
This area hasn't received any moisture since middle of May, so the fuels are very receptive to fire. And when you have that sort of receptivity in the fuels, they're dry, the weather's been hot, and then you've got that super steep terrain like the firefighters are working in. That's really the perfect combination for fire spread.
Closures around the fire expanded this weekend, including lands, roads, trails, and campgrounds nearby in the Willamette National Forest. The fire has burned more than 9,000 acres. The smoke is also expected to keep expanding into Central Oregon. Well, let's bring in meteorologist Joe Ranieri with a look at smoke and fire conditions. And Joe, are things going to improve this week?
They'll improve a little bit. Even as soon as tomorrow afternoon, we'll start to see some of that smoke clear out throughout the central and eastern side of the state. But between now and then, it's still going to be pretty thick as you get ready to wrap up your Sunday night. You can kind of see where that smoke is funneling in from over in Lane County. It's just basically sitting over parts of the Mount Hood area, just south of Mount Hood, but throughout the Mount Hood National Forest and into parts of Highway 20 along the east side of the state. And air quality is going to take a bit of a hit over the next couple of days. Where you see it's green, well, that's obviously good, but we are looking at a little bit of some reds throughout parts of the central Oregon area, and even down in parts of southern Oregon, it's under the unhealthy category. So if you're looking at spending maybe some time near the Bend, Redmond area, you might want to maybe change your plans a little bit until that smoke kind of clears out over the next couple of days. But looking at the drought monitor, this kind of basically shows just how dry things are. There's a little circle area throughout here, and that's the metro area, that we're not really under a drought conditions, but much of the state is parched. We haven't seen any measurable amount of rain for weeks. And again, as we look at the watches and warnings, that red flag warning has expired throughout the east side of the Columbia River Gorge. But again, air quality warning is going to remain in place throughout parts of Lane County and into Deschutes County until Tuesday afternoon. I'll talk more about your detailed forecast, Blair, in just a few minutes. And I am tracking some pretty warm conditions heading into the first part of August. That's a few minutes from now.
All right, Joe, sounds good. Well, in Washington, wildlife officials are searching for a cougar that attacked a child this weekend. The 8-year-old was camping with their family in Olympic National Park yesterday. The child's mother yelled at the cougar to get it to stop attacking. Luckily, the child only has minor injuries. Other campers in the area were evacuated in the meantime. If the cougar is found, it will be euthanized. Well, take a look at this. Today, the first heavy-duty electric truck was unveiled in Oregon. It'll join the Titan Freight Systems fleet, and state leaders hope the truck will help meet emission reduction targets. It was built in Portland and paid for by DEQ grants, KeyBank's Clean Energy Program, and state rebates, in addition to other sponsors.